Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday, as I know we're going to have a lot of things to get into today. Razorback basketball, Razorback football, going to be making a case for another football coach, which I'm sure everybody's going to agree with. Going to have our heavy hitters look around the entire college sports landscape, maybe get into some Major League Baseball too, because that was pretty fun this morning, I should say. And of course, your chats and all that great stuff to go along with it. But fellas, happy Tuesday. It was a late night for all of us for various reasons, but how are the vibes here on Tuesday?
Good. Very good. This is Big Bill's world, folks. We're just living in it, you know. I'm buzzing after last night. That was a lot of fun. Said it on the post game, said it on the report card. I wound up leaving way more impressed with Arkansas last night than I did even against Cincinnati. And that was emphatic, man. Really, really successful preseason for Arkansas basketball. Team's a lot of fun to watch. They're really good. They're entertaining. They got some stuff to them, some trash talkers, a little bit of swag, some grit. It's a fun combination, man. I cannot wait to get this season started. It's going to be a lot of fun to cover this group for sure.
Yeah, last night was awesome, man. And, you know, what's crazy is it was not the latest sporting event. Arkansas's game started at whatever, like 8:25 and goes till damn near 11. And then there was another sporting event that started before it that went on for 2 more hours. So that was kind of crazy. But no, yeah, as sports fans, man, we don't ask for a ton. I know that we all say like, oh yeah, we need our team to win championships. We need all this. You really just want to have something that you know you can count on, whether that's, you know, one pro team that you just know is always going to be solid. Maybe it's that one program. Like for me, of course, baseball is always that. I think for Hog fans, it's very important for this basketball team to look the way they have these first 2 exhibition games and kind of the way things are trending. You just want to know you have something to look forward to. You have something you can depend on. And I think Arkansas basketball is going to be that, man. I'm really excited. And, I just think I'm gonna go into each game buzzing, which is something that really didn't happen a ton last year.
Yeah, and again, it's exhibition and all of this nonsense, but I don't care. You beat the crap out of 2 teams named Cincinatti and Memphis in the exhibition. Like, you beat the crap out of them. And one of them, you went on the road, technically, to do it. And I know you guys broke it down all last night on the Pot at the Palace post game, but man, it was, like, I think my favorite thing was seeing how crappy they started and them still winning by as big as they did. Because, you know, I'm not saying I got full PTSD from it, but remember last year where it was like, hey, my favorite tweets were Arkansas has scored 6 points in 6 minutes, or they've scored 14 points in 14 minutes. You know, that's kind of how it was there in the beginning. And I was like, oh man, please don't let this happen again. Please don't let it be this way. And sure enough, they just turned it on. And that was my favorite thing. Of course, you know, winning big is always great, but just the fact that you looked like crap and you fought through it and you came back and you absolutely dominated. That was the best thing about it, because that was a problem last year. No, it's one game, but at least makes me feel like, hey, all right, well, at least that won't be a continuing theme this time around. They're capable of getting back into it and stepping on the throat and finishing a team off.
Yeah, man. We went from Arkansas scored 6 points in 6 minutes to Malik Thomas has scored 6 points in 16 seconds. It's a lot of fun, man. There's just some different dynamics to this team. I think they got some more firepower. And it's interesting to me because, you know, you think about Arkansas and part of the reasons why they were going to be ahead and like the returning production and everything. That's all great. It's all huge for this team. But in a lot of ways, it's your freshmen who are kind of look like they're up for the task. They took like 31 of Arkansas's 61 shots or something last night. But when they were dead to rights out there and everybody was kind of back on their heels and looked a little bit overwhelmed by the athleticism and the pressure and physicality of Memphis, just insert the young fellow, Malik Thomas. And he's good for it, man. And he like matched Memphis's energy and he ratcheted it up a notch. That stuff is contagious. It's what Billy did last year for Arkansas, where he would come off the bench and just, there was something about his energy and the way that he played that would kind of galvanize the team. And no disrespect intended, because Billy's awesome. He looked great last night, but Malik Thomas is doing that, and he's like lottery talented. So it's a hell of a lot of fun to watch. That was a great response. I agree with everything Cal said about how they needed that. And the way they responded to it was really impressive. Outscored them by 40 over the last 28 minutes of the game. This is not Memphis A&T or something. You know what I mean? Like, this is a team picked to win their league, picked to go to the NCAA tournament. I know it's a new roster and everything, but that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, as much as we say that defense wins championships, and it does. I mean, there's, if you're going to win a championship, at some point you're going to have to hunker down and play some really good defense. And so we'll kind of see. There will be games this year where this Razorback team, things aren't going to go according to plan. They're going to have to really lock in and defend for a while. But for offensive purposes, like, you have to have an elite offense. If you're going to win the national title in college basketball, you have to be able to score at an elite level. It's basically just one of those things. It's a crazy phenomenon where it's like literally a top 10 offense wins the title every single year. It's not one of those like, oh yeah, most years, every single year, one of the top 10 offenses in college basketball wins the national title. And that'll probably be the case for a really long time. And so we'll see how the defensive end works. And I actually thought there were some really, really encouraging things on the defensive end in the second half, specifically the way they rebounded, the way that I think Memphis was like 9 of 35 in the second half or something like that. They really locked in there and Memphis ran out of gas. But I think the most encouraging thing to me, I mean, you scored 99 points. You hit 6 threes. You were 6 of 7 from 3. And I know Malik Thomas had a really good game, but it would be one thing if you score 100 and it's like, oh yeah, so-and-so just went for 40, which like is cool, but it's like, is he going to go for 40 every night? Probably not. Or hey, you hit 23s. Well, are you going to hit 23s the next game? Probably not. I look at what Arkansas did last night and I'm like, not only could they do that every single night, they're going to have nights where things are firing on all cylinders even more. I mean, Carter Knox was pretty quiet. Trevin Brazil didn't knock down an outside shot. Malik Ewan had a really good game. Like, Nick Pringle was in foul trouble. It's like there are things that could be better for Arkansas. And so I see them score 100 fairly easily. And I'm like, they could do that every day.
Yeah. I mean, they have that many options. And that's like with the two freshmen, which, I think, not to say it's, exactly what each player is going to do, but it's like with all the players that they returned from last year, we kind of have an idea of like, all right, what type of player they are. Same thing with bringing in Nick Pringle and Malik Ewan. It's like, the type of players that they are, but the freshmen were really about okay, we know these guys are highly regarded, McDonald's All-Americans, possible lottery picks, but, are they going to, like, how long is it going to take them, to get going? Is it going to be something that's a tough transition for them and everything? And I don't even think it's a question. No, they're fine. They're good. They understand what they're doing. I mean, it's not to say they won't make mistakes, but good grief. The two things, though, that stood out to me about those two freshman guys, and again, I know there's a lot of season left, but one, Malik Thomas's release is one of the quickest releases of a shot I've ever seen. And I know that, it looks kind of weird, I guess. And I don't mean that in an insulting way, but it's just maybe because I'm not used to seeing such a quick release. But that's going to be, massive for any sort of plays, especially late in games, if you need a quick shot or anything like that. But that, and then the other thing with Acuff, I haven't seen a guy finish at the rim this good since Jalen Barford. I was a huge Jalen Barford guy and just able to finish that guy. And I don't know how he does it. It's one of those things where it's just, he's getting contact. He's going straight up. He's over a 6'11" guy. And then he shoots it. And it's not like, it goes off the backboard. No, it hits the top, like the front of the rim and then kind of rolls into the thing. I'm like, how? Like, what? I was like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's luck, because it's not. It's 100% talent. That's what he meant to do. But it's just, it's not like, it goes off the backboard and in. It's like, no, it goes off the backboard sometimes. Sometimes it goes off the rim. Sometimes it goes right in. Sometimes it's a floater. So, yeah, the two freshmen, I mean, they get great team all around, but the two freshmen are really the ones I'm like, all right, so how's this going to look? Sheesh, man, they got all the upside in the world. Now you see why they were so highly touted coming out of high school.
Yeah. I mean, Malik Thomas, he's an electric factory coming off the bench like that. We had the conversation last night about, damn, if he's your best player, do you start him? What are we doing here? And I think we kind of decided, I don't know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I love that kind of energy coming off with the second unit there. The bench scored 40 of the first 60 for Arkansas. They had 51 in the game, and it's 3 guys there who were playing. But yeah, Malik is a lot of fun. There's something that really excites me about a guy who is willing to and able to knock down the transition 3. Like, he just sprints, man, to the corner, and he's looking for the ball. And, as soon as it hits his hands, he's getting that thing off so quick. You're talking about that release. Arkansas just hasn't had a lot of that, man. So that's a lot of fun. I'm with you on Acuff. It is kind of weird how he gets those rolls. It's like in pool where you put some English on the ball to get the right kind of spin. Maybe it's some of that, but he's just a freight train, dude. Like, he looks like an SEC running back. He's not overly tall, but he's an explosive athlete, and he's really, really strong. And it doesn't matter that he's a freshman. Like, he's going right through seniors, driving into high major caliber post players and finishing through their chest. That's a good problem to have, man. And that's when you talk about the separators, because people talk about the similarities between, his game and maybe DJ Wagner's or whatever. DJ's a little bit taller. He might even be a little bit bigger. He's older. He's more experienced. He's not that type of finisher and that type of explosive player. That's the difference between a lottery pick and something else. But yeah, Acuff is a lot of fun to watch too. And he didn't even play an A game last night. Like he kind of struggled at times there, but good grief. When you needed something out of him, you got it. He didn't turn the ball over. I thought he was really good.
I think both of these freshmen, obviously, when you have a 5-star freshman, you're not going to judge them on the same scale that you judge a normal freshman on. But I mean, that's the big difference is just the mentality of these guys know exactly what they're capable of. They know what spots on the floor they can excel at. They know how to get to those spots, and they know what to do when they get to those spots, and they're not afraid to do any of those things. It's a very simple concept. I mean, Carter Knox, you think about him last year as a freshman, it took him till like December before he even like knew where to be on the floor. And then by the time January rolled around, okay, now he can get to that spot on the floor and he can make a play. Oh, wow, this is cool. But there were steps and you could kind of see the wheels turning in Carter Knox's head as he was figuring all this out. And by the end of the year, he was a guy who was, taking over games in the first half against Texas Tech. Like he was that kind. I mean, he was as good of a freshman by the end of the year as you could have. These guys are just way ahead of schedule. And that's not to say that they're way better than Carter Knox or anything, but it's like they are not going through all of these growing pains. And I'm not saying they're going to just be lights out every night and never have their struggles, but I just don't think, as much as we say, hey, these freshmen are going to have their ups and downs, they will, absolutely, just because that's how the sport works. But it's like, I really don't think we're going to see the moment where it's like, oh, Malik Thomas is just, now he's scared. Now he's not able to do that. Like, I do really think there's a lot of reliability. Am I crazy, Curtis? And John, I'd be interested to hear your opinion on this as well, because, like, I'm just not interested by the starting five conversation. I understand why everyone has their opinion. I know why there's, I can see the case for, hey, Malik Thomas might be your best player. Let's maybe start him. Or, hey, Malik Ewan, let's get him in there. Maybe a little more offensive, minded front court there. Let's see what that works like. Calipari's teams, if there's one thing we've learned, it doesn't matter. It never has mattered. I mean, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander came off the bench for a good portion of his freshman season. Devin Booker came off the bench for his entire freshman season. Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepherd, like all these guys came off the bench and led their team in minutes or were up there in minutes. And so it's like, I understand the notion, but it's like, I really don't care. I just feel like Arkansas has their 8 guys who are going to play. They'll play them in whatever order they feel necessary. The guys that you expect to rise to the top are going to rise to the top, and they're going to win a lot of games doing it. Like, am I wrong for just not caring at all what the starting lineup looks like?
Dude, I think that's just something for Kentucky fans to bitch about, not us. What I mean? And they were frustrated with the way that season ended. I think about the Rob and Reed year, but God, they had a great regular season. It sucks that it didn't work out. Actually, I don't give a damn that it didn't work out in the NCAA tournament for them. Feel bad for Cal, whatever. But I mean, that was a weird conversation, but all those guys played. And I think, Cal keeps a short enough rotation. He's going to be playing 8 guys, 9 when they feel froggy with Isaiah Sealy. And I know Cal talked about there were some moments where he wanted to get him in there and then chose not to, whatever. We knew that's how it was going to be. When it's a shorter rotation like that anyway, everybody's going to get their minutes. Everybody's going to eat. And I like having some pop coming off the bench there. Now, if we get, 2 or 3 games into the regular season and they're consistently having starts to games like they did last night, then maybe you consider making a change there. But right now, I'm not worried about it at all, man. I like what they got going on.
Yeah, my thing is like, there's 2 different ways of looking at the starting lineup and how you approach it. If you're obsessed with the starting lineup because you can't figure it out and you keep like having inconsistencies, then yeah, I think it starts mattering because you want to have that deal. But to me, at least with this team, and what's the nice thing about it is I don't look at this team being like, God, we better hope that this player plays well tonight or else Arkansas doesn't have a chance. It's like you just got the amount of options where it's nice to have, because it's not going to be about, oh, well, we got to figure it out because it's so bad. It's more about like, hey, if you're not doing something, we got somebody behind you that's going to step in and do it instead. So it's a good thing. And I don't care about the starting lineup. Do they win? Do they have effectiveness? Do they play well? Of course. That's what matters the most. So, but yeah, sometimes I feel like people get stuck in the whole thing of like playing the like NBA Live 2000, where it's like point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. And they have to have boop, 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 boop. And then that's it. It's like, no, it's not the way it works. It's like, is it effective? Is it working? Are you winning? That's what matters. That's the only thing that matters.
I think also, beating bad teams by a lot isn't really a big thing that matters in life. Like, I really don't care about that. But you look at this Arkansas team, the way they play, and you look at, obviously, they've got a lot of big non-conference tests coming up. they've also got a lot of teams that just like before the ball is even tipped, the game's over. You're going to win by 30. You know, like there's just some of those matchups you're going to play Queens, you're going to play Southern. There's going to be a lot of time for whether it's Isaiah Seeley or whoever, Malik Ewan, Nick Pringle, whoever, to get plenty of run. And so honestly, from a lineup standpoint, up until like, January, February, it's really not like they have to make a ton of hard decisions. Like Isaiah Seeley was a guy that didn't play last night. Would have liked to maybe see him get a chance, but it's like he's going to get tons of minutes over the next 2 months, where he's going to get plenty of run. So it's like it will work itself out. And like you said, John, it's not like Arkansas's looking for a missing piece or they're trying to find out what works. It's like pretty much everything works at this point.
Yeah, the most encouraging thing to me about all this is that, Arkansas has played 2 very competent basketball teams, 2 teams projected to be in the NCAA tournament, and they've beat the absolute hell out of both of them without playing an A game yet. They didn't do anything egregious. You know what I mean? Because you were talking about it a little bit earlier. Like they scored 99 points, they made 6 threes, and they missed a bunch of free throws. Like there are things that this team has to get better at and has to continue to work on and improve on before they get into the season here. There are individual players, yes, who, haven't quite lived up to the expectations that we have for them through 2 exhibition games. Like I expect DJ Wagner to score 10 to 12 points every night. It's what he's done his whole career. He hasn't done that through 2 games. I expect Carter Knox to take more than 5 shots in a basketball game, literally every single night. He didn't do that last night. I expect Nick Pringle to play more than 11 minutes, not foul out. Like you have almost like half of your rotation who you look at him, you go, yeah, nobody played bad, but boy, we think that they're going to be a lot better at this, and they're still blasting people. That's what makes me really excited about the potential of this group. It wasn't, oh yeah, they beat up on Cincinnati, but yeah, it was crazy, man. They hit 14 threes. They're never going to do that again. It's something like that. You know what I mean? Or like you said, oh, somebody popped off for 40. Yeah, that's not going to happen too often. No, they're just kind of casually going about their business and beating the hell out of people. And there's room for growth. That's not a position that we've been in often here. So got to give them an A, man, for the preseason. You never know how it's going to carry over and translate, but I don't know how you could feel a whole hell of a lot better about where you're at going into games that count than Arkansas is right now.
I'll tell you what, that's a perfect segue into our Alumni Hall question of the day, presented by our friends over Alumni Hall. We had a great time there last Friday, and we're going to be there again this month with a date to be determined. We'll let you know on it, but it's always great to go out there and hang out and see all the great Razorback apparel that they have, because they have plenty of it in stock. And we're talking about the nicest stuff around. We're talking about Johnny O, Southern Tide, Columbia. They got all the warm wear, because I don't know if y'all noticed, outside the weather is a changing. We're getting to the fall seasons, and they got full stock on that, as well as everything for basketball too. So get over there to 3417 North College Avenue, or shop them online at insidearkansas.com/alumni hall. Use that QR code right there on your screen. It's insidearkansas.com/alumni hall as part of our Alumni Hall question of the day. It's a pretty simple one, which I found sometimes I like to ask questions I already know the answer to, but I just want to be justified and confirmed in it. That's kind of what this is. And the 2 exhibition games, is this Razorback basketball team look better than what you expected them to look like through 2 exhibition games? 94% say yes, it looks better. Because I thought about maybe making it as like, oh, they look better, worse, or the same. I'm like, if anybody says they look worse, then they're morons. Like that's trolling if anyone says that. So, is that just excitement? Is that just energy? Maybe. But before the 2 exhibition games, if I told you guys, hey, Arkansas is going to beat both these teams by like 25, 30 points, everyone's like, sheesh, yeah, that'd be cool. I don't see that happening. It's tough. We'll see. It's like, well, that's what they did. And it's hard to not be excited about it. But Razorback fans, I think, they're pretty hyped about what they've seen so far.
Yeah, good. I like that poll, man. I kind of thought Arkansas would win both of the exhibitions, but I definitely did not think they were going to do it in that fashion. And honestly, like last year's Arkansas team, they wind up losing that game last night by 10, 12 points. Like they would have stabilized a little bit, and they probably would have made a little bit of run, but it would have been nothing like what we saw yesterday. And so just like the improvement from this time last year to now is really impressive. And they kept saying all, the entire broadcast, how they feel like they're a little bit ahead of where they're supposed to be. That's all fantastic, man. I agree. And yeah, based on my expectations, and mine are very high. Like I picked them second in the SEC. I think I had them 8th or 9th in my top 25 coming into the year. Like I'm a little bit higher on them than everybody else. And it's not just the Kool-Aid or, the Razorback fandom or whatever. I legitimately think they're really good. And I'm still impressed with what I've seen. So this is fun, man. I'm really enjoying this. We needed this bad.
Yeah, that context of the expectation is very important. And sometimes, we look at things through a like, oh, this happened, so this is good. This happened, so this is bad. Sometimes it really is just a reflection of the context around you. And you think back to last year when Arkansas loses to TCU in Fort Worth and they completely run out of gas after a nice exhibition performance against Kansas. I think that just kind of shows you where last year's team was at and where this year's team's at and how it's different, because they played a nice game against Kansas. So it's clearly like the talent was there, but they weren't really in 4-quarter game shape or 40-minute game shape. They weren't really in, play everyone a tight game the entire time type of game shape last year. And they probably shouldn't have been based on the way that they were practicing, based on how many guys were out. And so this year's team coming into these exhibitions, we didn't have any of those built-in excuses of, well, they're still trying to find their flow. It's like, nah, you got 4 returning pieces from a Sweet 16 team. You got 2 5-star freshmen. You got a couple big-time transfers in the front court. Like, you should be way ahead of schedule. And so that context is important to remember. It would have been problematic had there been some red flags pop up, because we'd have been like, why is that happening? That doesn't make any sense. And so, honestly, it was going to be pretty hard for them going into these 2 exhibitions to clear what our expectations were, because we were already saying stuff about how ahead of schedule they were, how they needed to be better than they were this time last year. And so the fact that they passed both of those tests with flying colors is about as well as it could have gone, honestly.
Yeah. And the fact that not only are they winning, but it's they're doing it in a cool way. Like, I know that this is still my favorite picture. I'm going to show it again. Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I shout out to whoever took this photo, because it was like we saw it in real time and which pisses me off. It's about to be something about the broadcast last night, but they didn't even show a replay of this, of this block by Billy. So I'm just glad the photo. I'm like, his head is touching the rim, and you're like, no, it's not. No, it's his head cocked back. If his head was just straight up, that's touching the rim, and that's a block. That's not a goaltend. That's not like anything. That is a block shot. And it's like stuff like that on top of you're winning, but you're doing it in a fun way, a cool way. You got monstrous dunks. Andrew, I know you talked about Cal's little jump when Trevin Brazil hit.
I didn't notice it in real time. That's hilarious, though.
Yeah, it was almost like he's just like, what are you doing? Oh, kind of thing. Of like, okay. Or maybe it was, oh, I know he's about to do it and about to get pumped. But either way, it's just they got highlights, man. They got highlight players. They got athletes. They got freaks. They got so many cool aspects of it. And again, haven't even started a season yet. They're 0-0. They have not won an official regular season game yet. I get it. But just, again, based on what we've seen, they're cool and good at the same time.
Yeah, they got a little bit of swagger to them, man. There have been some really good Arkansas basketball teams in recent years that haven't had that stuff to them a little bit. This does kind of remind me of some of those Calipari teams that you hated them because they were super, super talented, and then they had some, certain players that just piss you off. How do you think opposing fan bases are going to feel this year about having to go up against Billy Richmond and Malik Thomas and even Carter Knox, who gets in on it? We know Trevin Brazil is a little bit of a talker. Malik Ewan is good for it. He was taunting the crowd in the game, had a big dunk, didn't get back on defense, gave up a layup and got yelled at by Cal. Like, Arkansas's got a bunch of dudes who talk their talk. And hey, if you're backing it up on the court with the way that you're playing, I'm all for it. But I like a group that has some edge to them and a little bit of toughness to them. They really showed that last night. I love Billy Richmond. I just love that kid, man. The Cincinnati exhibition, he checks into the game, and before the ball even goes live, he's getting into it. He's mouthing with somebody right there. And then, like last night, it's Leak and somebody else who are tied up for that ball. And the scrum is going on. You know how it is. But yeah, it's almost like when bench is clear for baseball, nothing happens. Everybody's just like chest to chest. And who is Cal screaming at the whole time? Billy. Because as something pops off, he's going to hurt somebody, man. He's just, he's wired differently than everybody else on this planet. And I love it.
Well, it's one thing that, like, it's easy to take for granted. You just kind of assume, hey, these guys are playing for Arkansas. They're playing for Coach Cal. They're going to play hard, and they're going to love playing together. They're going to really take these things personally. And I think there's, again, also something to be said about, like, Malik Thomas, who's a freshman, clearly mentality-wise, like, he has that. Like, he takes everything very seriously. So you can kind of count on, hey, he's going to come into this game playing hard. Darius Acuff, same kind of thing. We know what kind of personality and edge to him Billy has. Even Carter, we've seen some of that pull out in the last couple of years. It's one thing for them to all kind of approach the game with the right mindset mentally, individually, but it's a different thing to go out there and come together as a team. And a lot of times when you have a lot of these guys that have the right mentality, they all want to be unselfish. They all want to win games. That happens naturally, but it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee that your team is going to enjoy playing with each other, that they're going to really take that pride in when someone punches at them, that they're going to look around at each other and be like, we got to punch back. And you could very clearly see that from this Razorback team last night. Like, they took it personally. They thought it was funny that Memphis was like really trying to come at them. And then when they got when they got the gun in their hands, they let them know a little bit like, hey, yeah, we're doing this. Like, you wanted to play this type of game. This is what we're going to do. And you could just see how much fun they were having. And it's something that we assume, we like all these pieces. We look at it on paper. We're assessing the roster overall. And we say, okay, yeah, this team should have some toughness. They should have some personality. But it's another thing once you really see it out there. And so I think for a lot of these guys, it was important for them to see their teammates in that light. It was important for you to be in that foxhole and see Billy getting in fights for you, see Carter, talking at the opposing players and getting teed up. It was important for them to see those freshmen be ready for that environment. Because, we're about to go into the season. You're about to play Duke. You're about to play Michigan State. You're about to play Houston. All these things, you need to know you can count on that guy to the left and that guy to the right of you. And I think this team, they definitely have a little bit of that gelling already starting to happen. In years past, we've seen some really good Razorback teams over the last decade. A lot of them took a long time to gel. Like, frankly, we were okay with it. Like, we're fine. We're like, hey, take your lumps in December, January. But it's like, we just haven't really been seeing stuff like this happening in October.
We'll continue to talk about basketball, get some of your chats as well, folks. I want to remind everybody that Blue Ember Smokehouse is one of our great new sponsors here at Inside Arkansas. And fun fact, we're going to be live at their location in Rogers next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, Inside Arkansas Live is going to be live from 12 to 2 there off Pleasant Grove Road in Rogers. So looking forward to that. But just remember, it's a family-owned smokehouse specializing in handcrafted barbecue from tender brisket to home-cooked sides. You'll find a hearty meal for every member of the family, especially when it comes to the holiday season. With Thanksgiving being up and coming, to me, Thanksgiving's the best holiday. We can talk about that later. But the reason is because it's all the great food, but it's a lot of work. And for big families and a lot of people who are coming into town, you may not have time. Well, that's okay. Let Blue Ember Smokehouse help you out where they can get you a whole cooked turkey that feeds 18 to 20 people for $70, as well as turkey breast that feeds 12 to 14 people, $55. Don't forget the whole ham. If you're not a turkey person, you go the ham route. 18 to 20 people, $65. And they can cater any events, whether it's a wedding, a party, meetings, anything. They got it going on. They also have incredible sides. So be sure to contact any of those locations that are on your screen, whether it's Fort Smith, Jonesboro, Texarkana, Little Rock, Hot Springs, or Rogers, for all the latest and all the great deals that they have going on, as well as getting your order in for this holiday season and this upcoming Thanksgiving. So do it with Blue Ember Smokehouse, and thank you for supporting your local Blue Ember Smokehouse. So
I see Andrew rocking the Blue Ember hat. I too am rocking the Blue Ember hat. You just can't tell because it's on backwards. Rumor has it they're gonna have some more merch waiting on us when we get there on next Wednesday in Rogers. So they're taking care of us, man. Not to mention the food. The guys are awesome.
When you told me when you said nice hat when we first got on the stream, I didn't I thought you were just like, oh yeah, Blue Ember. I didn't realize you were also wearing the hat, Curtis. Look at us. We look like we just got drafted by Blue Ember.
Yes, I didn't get the memo on that to wear my Blue Ember, but that's okay.
Sorry, I would have texted you if I had known Curtis was going to be doing this. I would have texted you.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll wear it when we do a show at Blue Ember. How about that? Like we'll rock the apparel there too. So yeah, it's great to have them on board. But continue on with real quick basketball. I just think it's funny because right now, am I crazy for if the game's on the line, you need a free throw that Malik Ewan needs to take it?
Honestly,
apparently,
I was thinking that maybe it was going to be Malik Thomas because he's just kind of got that to him, but he was missing free throws last night. Some of the guys who normally make them, like Carter and Billy, were actually really good free throw shooters for Arkansas. Yeah, Malik Ewan, like career 62% free throw shooter or something, was just up there 7 of 7. No big deal. Fine by me, man. Put the big fella up there and let him go to work. A-Cup was pretty good too last night, but yeah, man.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm not saying that, this is horrible. The free throw shooting's horrible, but it does make me a little uneasy. It just, that's the one thing, like, yeah.
They got to figure it out.
It'd be one of those things if, Nick Pringle had 12 free throw attempts and he went 6 of 12 or something like that. Because sometimes that would happen with Arkansas where,
this happened with Jalen Graham.
Yeah, like Thero or something. Like Thero would go 8 of 15. And so you look at the overall number and Arkansas misses 10 free throws. But it's like, yeah, some of the, a lot of those were that guy. It was the guards, like you said. Like Billy Richmond goes 3 of 6. Like that was weird about it. I don't think it's going to be like a narrative that follows us all season necessarily, but who knows? Free throws are fickle.
Yeah, just you're going to be in some close games this year. But all it's going to take, guys, I mean, I'm already, just like you guys, excited about it. All it's going to take, if they go up to East Lansing here, I guess, was it next Saturday, and they win, I just don't know how I'm going to contain myself.
No, we won't. We'll be unruly, and people are going to hate us, and I can't wait. By the way, Michigan State plays UConn tonight in an exhibition at 6:30 on UConn Plus. Not entirely sure. Well, I think I do. I know exactly what that means. I don't know if it's free viewing or what, but I will be tapped into that. So,
yeah,
UConn gonna be better this year.
I think so. Definitely, yeah, definitely better than what they were last year, I think.
Well, it also makes me laugh too because that Michigan State game's on Fox. When was the last time Arkansas played a basketball game on Fox? Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder what the broadcast team will look like for that.
I don't know. Is it still? Do they still have Gus Johnson? Like, that'd be kind of cool. Put him on the broadcast. I don't know.
I bet he's still doing football.
Yeah, it'll probably be some people we've never heard of, and they're going to piss me off, like the broadcast last night, like just being so obnoxious.
It could have been Phantom bolted, NBC.
Yeah, like I don't know. It was just really, I just hated it. Like, I know everyone's like, I just don't listen to it. And I don't want to listen to it, but sometimes it's like interesting. Like when Cal was on the mic or whatever, it's like hearing that. But it was, and then like the official that got on there talking, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on? I didn't get it at all.
We need to talk about
interview was crazy.
Whatever the hell was on before the game started in that long waiting period. The True South.
No disrespect to that guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy, great story and all that. I just did not want to watch that in that moment.
I had like a half dozen people who like replied under my tweet and is like, "It's True South. You wouldn't understand."
What do you mean
I guess not.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah, nothing gets you more hype for a basketball game than that, I'm sure.
I just heard the man talking about the best wieners in town for like 45 minutes, and then we played basketball. That was crazy. Anyway.
It's perfect. That's what, again, gets everybody pumped up and excited for it. We'll have some more to talk about. I know we're going to have our heavy hitters as well as some other things talking about making the case for a new coach for Razorback football because that's still ongoing. I don't know if anyone heard about it. But let's go ahead and get to some of your chats because I know some of you want to talk about the basketball side of things too, and we'll do that here in a second. But I want to remind everybody, OZK Insurance is the insurance company that we use over here at Inside Arkansas because they make it simple. They're right here in the state of Arkansas. They're based in Rogers, and they're 100% independent agency where they shop the entire marketplace to deliver the best combination of cost and coverage, which saves you both time and money. And it can be home insurance, auto insurance, boat insurance, motorcycle insurance, life insurance, commercial insurance, all the insurance. Their friendly team has access to a wide range of flexible options designed just for you. And they have places all over the state of Arkansas and serve the entire state of Arkansas: Bentonville, Centerton, Fayetteville, Little Rock, Hot Springs, Springdale, and beyond. OZK Insurance is a trusted advisor you never knew you needed, especially when you see that they have over 600 five-star Google reviews. Can't get a better endorsement than that. So start today with a free online quote at ozkinsurance.com or call 479-715-4200. That's 479-715-4200. It's OZK Insurance, protection made simple. All right, so let's get to some of your chats. And super chats get read always first, but we don't have any of those. So we're just going to go with Filthy Tom becoming a member.
Wow, no super chats. The pores are in the chat today, I guess.
That's all of them. Must have had a tough night at Bet SARACEN last night, I guess, for all these people. So, but no, shout out to Filthy Tom becoming a YouTube member. Appreciate it. Let's see. Austin from work says didn't score for the first 10 minutes and still put up 99.
Yeah, that's wild behavior, man. It really didn't. I think they scored 11 points in 10 minutes or 10 points in the first 11 minutes. Yeah, something like that. And you wind up with 99. You only make 6 threes. You miss what? Would they miss a dozen free throws or something? It's pretty good work.
Yeah.
Pretty good work.
Not too bad. Also, Matt says, I definitely fell asleep to the sweet sound of Curtis and Ellis talking about that epic win last night about 15 minutes into post game. I can't believe y'all stayed up for another 45.
I got to be honest. It's not like we stayed up and we were like, after we got done, we were like, oh, all right, we're going to sleep. Like, we could have gone on for an easy another 30. I mean, Curtis did literally film a report card afterwards. But it really wasn't that hard, honestly. And like, I didn't end up going to sleep till like 2 a.m. because I was kind of buzzing.
Yeah, I was too. I will say when I was recording the report card, I would get to certain points on players and I could feel I don't know if I was falling asleep while I was doing it, but I could feel myself pause for like 4 seconds. And I'd be like, yeah, but anyway, Nick Pringle, I don't know what to say. He played 11 minutes. He fouled out. It was, I was getting tired, man.
Yeah. I'll say not that it happened like last night specifically, but I've always felt like anytime I'm delirious of sleep is usually my best work. I don't know why. I think that's more, I don't know if that's an insult of more of my, like when I'm engaged, then I'm not as good, but maybe it's just I'm so delirious that I think I'm really good and I'm not. But sometimes, hey, that makes for the best content is whenever you're just in your own little world over there. Let's see. Austin from Work also says, how good will it feel to beat $20 million Kentucky with these freshmen? It would be pretty cool.
Arkansas got that blue light special. Turned out to be great, man.
Dude, I just would love it. How about Cal last night? Just be like, every place I left, they were mad at me. And it's like it's talking about UMass, they were mad. And just talking about Memphis and Kentucky, I think they were probably happy that I was gone. So it was great.
Speaking of spending money for good basketball players, I made a realization this morning. Imagine if Arkansas had spent $3 to $4 million to keep a Duthero, who, by the way, would not be able to participate in any team activities right now because he would still be hurt, I would imagine. And also, frankly, I mean, I love a Duthero, but even if he were healthy, I just don't know if it really would have been the best use of resources. Because in the moment, I was talking myself into it, and I'm like, oh, man, it'd be really sick. We have one of those things. But, like, I feel like Arkansas, in terms of the way they allocated resources, it worked out perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would agree.
A Duthero would have messed up their chemistry. Just would have been awful. Somebody real quick, this just while I'm thinking about it, we all know that like Kentucky is the one game I think that if we could pick to win, I think all Razorback fans would pick to win to be that one. What would be number 2? Would it be Florida on the road? Would that be the number 2 game if you could pick a win? Or do you think it'd be more Duke or Houston?
Yeah, I mean, I would always love to beat Duke. Houston might wind up being the better win or whatever, but beating the blue blood, I think would be a lot of fun. I'd probably go that route. Although, and I know they're not quite as good as those other teams, winning at Michigan State and being able to really set the tone for your season, because then you don't have another game that you should really be challenged in at least until Thanksgiving. Like that's the kind of stuff that could propel Arkansas into some serious conversations, and we'd be going nuts.
Beating Duke on Thanksgiving Day on CBS, right? It's on CBS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I feel like is a lot of upside. Like that could do a lot. Although I will say, I know that the viewership numbers last year were very good for Arkansas, Illinois, but I feel like I still don't have a good feel for like, is the entire country watching basketball? Are they watching football? Like, do people notice these things? Because it's a relatively new thing. I know there's always been, of course, tournaments, whatever, but like having a marquee game like this in the United Center, like I'll be interested to see, especially if Arkansas beats Michigan State and they're ranked like number 5, how much hype there is around that Arkansas Duke game by the time it happens. I'd imagine winning that game would do a lot for whoever wins.
Yeah, I'm not. There's not a wrong answer to this because everyone has their own, but I don't know. I take the Florida one just because it's like you never win at Gainesville. I think you've won once, like since joining the SEC. You beat the defending champs, the team that's picked number 1 in the SEC. And it's like the Boogie Flan thing also would be kind of nice to get a win for that. So but I'll take any of those wins. All those would be great. I take any of them. But yeah, there's going to be some opportunities to have some really good wins this year. Let's see a few more here because I know we'll get to everyone's favorite topic of coaching search in football right now. Let's see. Parker says, I like Leak coming off the bench I assume he says with Billy.
Me too. I love that look. Your best scorer and your best defender coming in at the same time. That's fun.
And then Malik Ewan was kind of the secret weapon last night.
Exactly.
Added in with that unit as well. That's an extremely overqualified bench unit.
Yes, and your 3 best trash talkers. So
Yes. Let's see. Matt says Isaiah Sealy sure is a damn nice insurance policy to have if we get in foul trouble or knock on wood, someone is hurt.
He is, man. Yeah, he really is. He's a good player. And if Arkansas wasn't so loaded, he'd have a bigger role for sure. I did like that Cal talked about that just a little bit last night we felt like there were times where we could have used him. And if we would have put him in there, you guys would have seen that he would have been able to match up athletically and everything. I agree. And I think we kind of nailed it, Andrew, with our assessment of what this is going to look like for Sealy, where you have your 8 guys are going to get a bulk of the minutes, but there will be games where Sealy plays quite a bit. He played 13 minutes in the first exhibition. He'll play a lot against Southern and some of these other teams. There are going to be some coaches DNPs sometimes given the situation, but the more burn he gets in some of these early games, the more they're going to trust him in these bigger games once we get a little further down the road.
Yeah. Also, just a few more here. Again, Scalise, I guess. I don't know the stupid usernames. Curtis, the announcer, told me last night that you don't start in the Sweet 16. Can you confirm?
Oh, man, he pissed me off last night with that. It's like, what are you doing, brother? Yeah, that bothered me. I don't know how much you guys were paying attention at that point. Andrew, I know you heard some of that, but he's just like, just a warning to Razorback fans, don't like your team. It's like, dude, shut up. Don't get congratulations. You won a couple exhibitions. You don't start in the Sweet 16. You might not get there. You might not go to the tournament. You never. It's just like, dude, let Arkansas enjoy what they did here. It's not your job to tell us this. We don't need your advice. Who are you, by the way? Like, I don't know.
Well, I know that every now and then, we do the thing where we watch a game in the preseason or early season and we are like, oh, Final Four. Like, heck yeah. Nobody should ever, whether you're the TV commentator or whoever, should ever take that as a very serious statement. As like, oh, wow, this exhibition performance is proof that we will be advancing to Indianapolis to play. It's like, obviously we understand the context of, hey, yeah, they got to go play the regular season. And then they're going to have to get a good seed. They're going to have to play well in March. Like, we really do understand that. Like, the fact that he truly in his heart felt like, hey, I need to explain this to Hog fans that, like, this does not clinch you an NCAA tournament bid. It's like, dude, we're okay. We're okay to just look at the exhibition win and say, man, we really kicked their ass. That's awesome. Like, that really is as simple as it is.
Austin from work says, will any of those non-contest push us physically as much as Memphis did early? I just always assume like one of them's Houston. I just always feel like Houston always
is going to push you extremely physically.
Yeah. Michigan State will too. Michigan State, they are not as offensively talented as they have been in years past. But they're gonna be physical and tough and hard nosed, and it's gonna be kind of it is gonna be a hostile, intimidating type of environment. That's gonna be a hell of a test for Arkansas there. So I would say them and Houston for sure. Duke, they're younger, they're gonna be super talented, but I don't know if it's gonna be that type of physicality. Louisville is more flash, like they shoot a bunch of threes. They're a little bit more built like a Bama maybe. And who's the other one? Texas Tech. They're kind of a well-rounded team. We know exactly what Texas Tech is like because that's the last real game we played. So
it's true. Yeah, it is true. We'll continue to get to your chats, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in, but we also appreciate the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas because your vision is essential to your quality of life. Last time I checked, everyone would really like to be able to see, clearly, like to be able to, when you go to those Razorback basketball games and you're there for those big moments in those big games, you want to see what's going on. You want to see the stats up on the scoreboard. You want to be able to see the Razorback players making all these great plays. Well, get your vision taken care of with the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas because they have award-winning eye doctors that are board certified and professionally active. And their patients also talk about how caring and friendly that they are. They are able to perform cataract surgery for you before the end of 2025 to make your holiday season be in full clear view. They also have refractive surgery for patients struggling with their readers, their glasses, or contacts. They have surgery options for everybody. And you got to make sure you utilize your FSA benefits before the end of the year, too. They have availability for eye exams just to get them checked out to make sure that your eyes are good to go with their new provider, Dr. Rebecca Brown. And don't forget, Botox, filler, and IPL, they have you covered with their aesthetics provider, Olivia Risch. She has been a registered nurse for over 12 years and can get you squared away also before the end of 2025. So they have these openings. Get it done. Get it taken care of. Waste no more time. Do it with the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas today by calling 479-442-2020. That's 479-442-2020. You can also check out their website at eyecenternwa.com for more info. All right, so a few other chats here too. Appreciate some super chats that are starting to come in. All Andrew had to do is just call them out and call them poor, and then it started rolling in. But shout out to JM Scott. He says, here, fellas, it seems like this team has the interchangeable pieces to match up against the various types of teams they'll face this season, i.e. high-pressure teams like last night or bruiser teams later in the schedule.
I feel bad that he said here, fellas, because that makes it clear that like there's a direct response to my plea, which I apologize for. I am sorry.
I can't remember if maybe it was the football post-game show where we were talking about this, where I was like, I said even before the Pigpen Collective interview, and I was like, look, I just don't tell people what they should do with their money. And I appreciate the super chats. I'm never going to ask for them. It's like, I can't go back on that now. And you're like, dude, I'll be that guy. Like, I have no shame, man. Andrew has decided, John, that basically anything we do that could get us in trouble, or even anything I say, he's ready to take responsibility for it. So I appreciate that about him. He's a good man.
Are you saying Andrew's our fall guy? Is that what you're saying? He's our what do they call it?
Well, if the FBI came and we had like a real, RICO case, then Cameron would become the fall guy. But for now, in terms of public perception, I'm the fall guy.
That's right. And it's and to the point of that super chat there, this is true. And after Penny Hardaway made his excuses about substitutions or whatever, he was talking about what got Arkansas back in the game and what threw him. And he was talking about them going smaller for a while and getting the two bigs out of there, and that gave them momentum. And then they went big and they were pounding them with the physicality and on the glass and everything. So that is a prime example of how they can kind of interchange the parts. You had times where it was 4 guards and TB out there, and it was your best lineup. And then they would counter and they would go big, with TB in there, and also, Ewan or Pringle or whatever. So they can do different things with the lineups, man. It's real versatile.
Shout out to Steve for the 501 super chat. Appreciate you, Steve. Says, still believe the play of Brazil, Ewan, and Pringle will determine this year's basketball team is very good, or just one for the memory books.
I would agree with this assessment. We kind of came into the year, I think we said it a lot, that like the freshmen would determine the ceiling. Like if Acuff and Thomas are just pretty good, then Arkansas will be pretty good. If they're really good, then maybe Arkansas is going to be really good. I think now, and I'm not saying that we're no longer going to worry about the freshmen, that they're never going to have mistakes, but I think we have a better idea for what they are going to look like. And these veteran front court guys, I do think it's going to be matchup to matchup, like who J.M. Scott was saying in the chat before. Like, you have to have that versatility. You have to be able to, whatever your opponent rolls out, you have to be able to match it. And you can match it with different things to threaten them, but like, you have to be able to do that. And I think those 3 big men in their unique, different skill sets, and Brazil's kind of the combination of both of them, I think they're going to be very pivotal. And I like seeing the second half version of Trevin Brazil, because that's what I want out of him, is just a steady, consistent flow. And I feel like Ewan and Pringle will be a little bit more matchup dependent, maybe.
And also, too, real quick on Trevin Brazil, you know what I'm so happy about? And he still did. I know he'll never lose it, but hope it doesn't get him in trouble. But man, he hasn't lost his edge. He still does not like nonsense, and he will let you know about it and everything. So I'm glad that that's still there.
By the way, now you go ahead, Curtis. Yours is way more important than mine.
Well, all I was going to say is I'm glad that he has progressed from the dude who was like taking little cheap shot kicks to the back of, I think, Memphis players in the Bahamas, to the guy that actually plays with some edge and physicality, because he kind of came across as a punk, if I'm being honest. And I know him, so I think I can say that. But he kind of came across that way a couple of years ago, and now he's kind of backing it up a little bit more. And I do appreciate that about him.
That's a great point. Like, if you're going to be the like edgy, like Devo, for example, he would do some crazy stuff, but Devo was also that kind of player. He was a junkyard dog that was elbowing people when between the whistles, and then would elbow you after the whistle. Brazil, it was like after the whistle is when he would do his best work. And it's like, you got to be that guy all the time. But okay, this reminds me, now that we're talking about the front court and sort of the lineups and stuff, I made that point about Thero and how it almost is kind of not a blessing that Arkansas didn't get Thero, but it may have helped. Does the same apply for Nate Ament?
Yes, absolutely.
And look, I'm not trying to, like, I know that we like to view this through our very optimistic lens. Nate Ament's an awesome talent. Like, if he were at Arkansas, we would 1000% be talking ourselves into him being this generational prospect and all that. But I do think there's something to be said for, like, matchup wise, like, we didn't get the player we wanted, but I think they got the team they needed.
Yeah, it's just, I'm never going to look at another player and be like, man, it'd be nice to have him because right now I don't feel like they need anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't need anybody. They're good. They're just fine. They got what they got. But also, too, real quick, I should have got with Bet Saracen on this. I would have loved to have known the odds of the first technical of the, I guess, season going to Carter Knox over anybody else. Like, not Brazil, not Thomas, not, any of these guys that's kind of got a little tood to them. It's like Carter Knox, which I know he does, but that he wouldn't have been the one I thought first. Or Billy Richmond, like one of those guys. It's kind of surprised.
Me too. And somebody, I think I started the chat. I don't remember, but somebody asked about that tech and what happened and everything. looked to me like the possession right before Carter had made a play, and then he was really talking to a guy, and he was peacocking him down the court. And it seems like the ref was probably like, hey, don't do that. And then right after the TV play there, Knox was pointing at him and yelling at him. And so it was like, okay, you know how it is. Like if you're a parent, and you're telling your kid, like, I just told you, and you turned around and did it again, and now I got to bust your ass for it. I think that's what got him, but I don't know that it was super demonstrative or anything like that. A little bit soft in an exhibition game, but he does have to have the awareness not to do that. And Cal said afterwards, like, these are SEC officials, so stop talking to them. Like, you're going to see them all year. You want to get some calls, and you know, it is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just love it. That's one of my favorite things, is seeing the camera on Cal, and you could just sometimes you hear him, but man, he makes it really easy to read his lips of what he's saying. And, you know, he's just yelling at him like, why did you do that? Is what he's saying to Carter. Why would you do that? Type of thing.
Yeah.
So
And
it's you're going to have more technicals. I still don't know what the betting odds are, but the first ejection, if there's an ejection, is going to be Billy Richmond, I feel like. So
probably so. And Addison, do I do that with what? No, because dude's not listening to anything I say right now anyway.
Yeah. If he was listening to Curtis and doing what he said, then Curtis probably would have a lot better sleep schedule. If that was the case.
He's in his rebellious stage with me. We're working on it.
Okay. A few more chats here too, because I know we got to get some other things, but J.M. Scott, he said, sorry, it should have said, hey fellas. That's a typo. Good timing though.
Okay. I really did think he was like, here, bro, here. Take it.
Here, you beggar. Like, here you go. It's like, geez, now leave me alone. Let's see. Josh says maybe it's not the coaches, not the players. It's the Gus Malzahn curse. Same pattern everywhere he goes. Arkansas State, Auburn, UCF, FSU. I don't know what this is reference to, but
I think this is just a completely separate conversation.
Okay.
I'm trying to think though. Like, so okay, he says the Gus Malzahn curse. I guess he left Arkansas State, then got fired at Auburn, got fired at UCF, and now might get fired at FSU. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Gus Malzahn sucks. I don't know. Like,
appreciate the super chat
we
regardless.
Aren't pro Gus over here, I don't think.
Yeah, no, appreciate the super chat regardless. But speaking of football, I know we're going to get everybody upset because we're going to talk about stuff that's not as fun as basketball. Maybe it is to you, but we're going to do some coaching search fun, because it's always great. But we want to tell everybody that Hickey & Hole Law is the official law firm of us here at Inside Arkansas, because we know that these legal things that you're going to go through or could potentially go through, it's extremely important. It's extremely important to make sure that you're getting the best representation possible. And there's no better group. There's no better law firm than Hickey & Hole Law. They have offices in Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, and Mena. And no matter what it is, if it's divorce and custody cases, which we know are extremely important, criminal cases, civil litigation cases, personal injury, estate planning, all of it, Hickey & Hole has you covered. And you can call them today and get those guidance and that advising right now. 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. You can also check out their website at hickeyandhole.com. Scan that QR code right there on your screen, and they'll be able to help you out there as well. It's Hickey & Hole Law. Things are about to get better. All right. So I feel like, we're going to get into making the case for Ryan Silverfield, which I know is going to be interesting to get into. But there are some super chats that were football related. So if anyone's getting mad, like, they're not reading them, it's because, we want to get to a certain point and, let it happen. But I guess that's what Josh Byers was. But Garrett is saying, appreciate it, Garrett, or Guy Garrett, says, got in here late. Did we address the 100-year check out rumors as well as the boosters want Franklin rumors?
No, because they are just that. And I do want to make that clear. Like, it's not, and I'm not even saying that there's nothing to the rumors, but it's like, we don't really do the message board game on here where we're like, oh, hey, Trailblazing Hog 69 says that James Franklin is really interested in the job, and he's got a buddy who works at wherever that saw him. I get why, like, that. Those are interesting things. I've been in the weeds for those conversations as well, but like, I don't see a ton of value in talking about them while they are rumors. Now, obviously, if anything goes down on either of those fronts, of course, we're going to be right there with it. But if we start doing like every message board rumor, we have to talk about it on the show, we're going to have a lot of useless shows, in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought John had some good notes yesterday on the James Franklin stuff. As for the 100-euro check, like, I don't know, man. I mean, I've heard from a couple people from the jump during this coaching search that, maybe his role is not what people thought it would be in it, or maybe not a role at all, I guess. But as far as, is he out of here? Did it happen yesterday? Is it going to happen on the bye week? Is it going to happen at the end of the month or the end of last month? I have no idea, man, what that would look like, or if it's even a thing. So
the one thing I will
know.
say, and John, I know you'll have more to say on this. The one thing I will say is that, like, I am happy that there's at least some smoke of people in the state of Arkansas that do want James Franklin. And maybe those people are just random people here and there, but like, the fact that there's even people in the state trying to start a rumor about James Franklin, I feel like is a good sign, because that tells me that, like, they're at least considering taking a big swing, or that maybe one person in that room has that on their radar.
Yeah, and because I talked about it on my Locked On yesterday, or I guess 2 days ago. I can't get my days mixed up, but as far as the James Franklin thing and the spending and all of that. And I try to say it many times before. There's stuff that I know, there's stuff that I hear, and when there's those things, I try to connect dots. Just try to make it be like, hey, here's my opinion, here's my theory behind it. But I will say I do have full confidence in saying that there is a very much conscientious effort of putting together a major financial package to go after a major coach, and it's my understanding that there is a deal of the situation with James Franklin, like that, to that level. Does that mean that James Franklin's 100% all in on it and going to take the job? I mean, no. Because you got it, but there is interest. There is kind of the target of what they're wanting, and so to me, I feel confident in sharing that. But as far as the 100-year check stuff, I mean, I've heard stuff for weeks, months about things, and sometimes it's a matter of, okay, is it if and when? Is it a matter of, are they going to wait? Is it going to be a move made now, like today? Because for all we know, as soon as we get off the air here, it's probably going to be at the most inconvenient time, because that's what happens for us. There may be a move made. It could happen today at 2:00. It could happen in a month. Like, we just don't know. But there's certainly a lot of speculation going around, and we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But I do know that there is, again, with full confidence, that there is a very major move to be sending a message, I guess is the way of putting it, sending a message in this coaching search. And that's going to be part of it. So
I've just seen a number of times in here, people saying, hey, there's Franklin rumors, like the people are talking Franklin, everything. I just know where you heard it first. I know John's not the, he always says he's not the big J journalist, and doesn't do that, that kind of stuff, the news breaking stuff. But he literally had an entire show about it yesterday, and now everyone else is going to kind of start running with that or verifying or whatever. Just, I can know where you heard it. I'll say it, give the man the credit where it's due when this stuff starts going around here. And that would be cool. And yeah. And for the 100-year check stuff, by the way, somebody in our chat said is somewhere on campus right now passing out glizzies to students.
Yeah.
So
What?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Curtis, I do love that point that, like, I don't think it's a coincidence that yesterday at whatever time that came out, was at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. or whatever. In the last 36 hours since then, there's now been a bunch of my buddy heard this, my source said this, and you see people framing basically what John said into their own 3 sentences, and now all of a sudden that's a rumor that we're supposed to talk about. It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, again, it's what makes it all fun and games. Thank you, Curtis, by the way, for that, because I'm not a big J journalist. I'm not a reporter, and I'm not breaking news or anything like that. That's what I try to say. I was like, if I hear things, was it Scarface? He's like, I have ears, I hear things. I like to talk about them. But yeah, because being a breaking news, other than the Westmore situation, as I keep bringing up, but local media is normally not the ones that break the news on stuff. So
right. Anyway, Chance.
Our guy Chance, yeah.
We want. Listen, I don't necessarily want anything from Hunter Yurachek, much less a hot dog, but we do appreciate the proof of life in existence down there. Like, he's still active over there on campus. So
I like that. This is the first. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking when I say this. This is the first sentence I have read about Hunter Yurachek doing anything over the last month. That is the first thing I know for a fact that Hunter Yurachek did, is hand out a hot dog to a student, which, by the way, is it still raining on campus? Are these soaking wet glizzies that he's handing out?
Oh. Hopefully that he's indoors, I would hope. I hope it's not like Yancey's Hot Dogs on Dixon Street, where he's just like standing out in the cold rain, like with a rain jacket, handing out hot dogs. So, yeah, that's interesting. I wonder how that happened. And maybe I'm making a joke. But maybe it's like that's what the board trustee says. Hey, just go over there and serve some hot dogs, Hunter. Okay, that's what we are relegating you to, is that. So that would be really funny if that ended up being the case. So
Wild,
anyways,
man.
I know it's so much fun though to have fun with that. Okay, all right. So let's do a little bit of football talk with making the case for a particular coach. But want to remind everybody, Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas is the place to be when it comes to getting your holiday lights all squared away this Christmas holiday. We know Halloween is this Friday, and a lot of you, Curtis being one of them, has Halloween lights on their house, and it was done by Walter Christmas Lighting. Phenomenal job. I've had so many people reach out to me saying that not only was Brett really easy to work with, but they did a great job, and they did it in a very effective and timely manner. They're the best in the business to do it. So if you're looking to have some Christmas lights put up, because Christmas is still a few months away and they still have some openings and some availability there, text our guy Brett, 479-459-1380. That's 479-459-1380. And they are going to give you a free estimate. They'll provide all the materials. They'll give you any color, any pattern you want. They install the lights. They do everything. All you do is sit back, relax, and look at your awesome lit up house for the Christmas holiday season. Again, it's Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, your local holiday lighting experts.
I'm stressed out, fellas, by the way,
What's
because
up?
of this. Well, because I got to do the Halloween pot at the Palace, but the days are numbered here, and it's just raining like crazy.
Okay.
I'm gonna be able to do it today, and hopefully it stops before tomorrow. My goal is to do a record Thursday night for the Friday, like the Halloween show.
What if we did something really stupid and surely would go wrong, where we just came to Curtis's house for Inside Arkansas Live on Friday, since it's Halloween itself. We dressed up and we sat in chairs just in his front yard and did it. Although now that I'm thinking about it, it would not work as well because it's daytime. It's lit up only at night, and that's all you can
Wouldn't
see.
be quite as cool, and we wouldn't be able to pull off the video game live stream. We'll figure something out.
Projector screen. I don't know.
I will do it.
Yeah.
I'll go full on umbrella mode if I have to. But
Just do a basketball version of the walk and talk. Just walk around your yard like a bunch of times, circling it and just making sure you see in the background for Friday. Something like that. Yeah. You would figure it out though. But it looks good. So we appreciate them. But either way, Razorback football, still looking for a head coach. I don't know if y'all heard. And we've gone through a few names already and talking about making the case, which, it's not to say that these coaches are for sure in the running or that there's any connection to them whatsoever. But given the fan voting of what we've been having at InsideArkansas.com, this particular coach has really made some headway and has become even one of the top 5, top 3 coaches being mentioned and voted on by Razorback fans. And it's Memphis coach Ryan Silverfield. Do you guys remember Ryan Silverfield? The coach that's at Memphis that beat you this year? Yeah, of course you do. A lot of people maybe not realize it, but he's been in Memphis since 2020. He took over as an interim in 2019. And since that point in time, he went 8-3 in 2020, then 6-6, 7-6, 10-3, 11-2. And this year so far, guys, 7-1. So on their way to another double-digit season. That would be 3 straight years where they have double-digit wins. He has 49-22 overall in Memphis, 26-18 in the AAC. He is 45 years old from Jacksonville, Florida. So I'll turn it over to you guys when it comes to Ryan Silverfield. Make the case for him being the next Razorback head football coach.
Yeah, I talked about him a little bit yesterday, and we know that OKC Hog has changed his allegiances. We found that out from Golish to Silverfield. That's notable, I guess. But 49-22. That's a solid record there. Silverfield has been one of the few names that has been consistently connected to this job. Like every time I see somebody put out a little update or a little list or whatever, he's always one of those names that's on there, but he's the one that's, I feel like, is talked about the least. And, he's never had a losing season, back-to-back double-digit win seasons. He's probably about to have another one. Like you said, he's 7-1, even despite losing to Alex Mortensen. Like they still have an outside shot at making the college football playoff the way this thing is shaken out. I said this on the show yesterday, and I'll say it again today, but this is a guy who beats the program that we all love. He beats the coaches that we would all love to coach this program, but we seem to be just very against or hesitant loving him as our coach. And I do have to ask why. Like I've heard it's his aura, or, he has no motion. the dude is coaching at Memphis and he has them rolling. So he's got to have something going on there, I would think. Other coaches who have come from Memphis have flamed out. So like we're using Mike Norvell or, Fuente to argue against Silverfield. I think when you have to bring up other people to discredit someone, that usually means you don't have a whole lot of ammo against them individually. Oh, I've heard a lot of people say, I don't like his game man. Did you see his game management against Arkansas? You mean when he overcame a 3-score deficit and beat the Razorbacks? Like, are we nitpicking here? Were you mad when he did the same thing to, everybody's new heartthrob, Alex Golish, who he has a superior resume to? He beats John Summerall. He beats Eric Morris. He beat Florida State. He's beaten West Virginia. He's beaten Boise State. He's beaten Iowa State. And I just look at him. He has resources above his weight class at Memphis, but he punches above his weight class at Memphis. So, Memphis was already good before he got there. Okay, they're still good. What the hell do you want him to do? Take over a winning program and keep winning? Like, that's exactly what he's done. So listen, he is not my top candidate. Absolutely not. I gave my list yesterday. He's not in my top 3. And I know it's not like the sexy or splashy name or whatever, but the dude is a winner. And I do think it would be wise for us as Razorback fans to at least take him more seriously as a candidate. I'm not trying to I know it's like the making the case, so we kind of put our own twist on it and everything. I'm not trying to sell you on him as your new head coach, but I am trying to say, man, his name keeps getting brought up with this job. We should probably at least look into him and consider what the possibilities would be, because I think there might be something there.
The thing that's interesting to me about Silverfield is normally, like, a lot of these candidates that you see that are head coaches at Group of 5 schools have pretty similar resumes. They started off as a position coach under a really good head coach, and then they, eventually became a coordinator. And then, maybe they became a coordinator at a big school, and then maybe they became a head coach at a small school. They all kind of made their bones. Silverfield's resume is like all over the place. He's been at like 7 different NFL teams. He's been position coaches at a bunch of different colleges, like just random 1 or 2 year jobs. And so that'd be one thing that, like, if we ever got to hear from Silverfield if he ended up getting the job, I would want to hear a lot about that, of like, hey, who are some of these coaches that you learned a lot from? Who are the ones? Because you clearly learned from a lot of different people and took a lot of those lessons. And now he's been at Memphis for pretty much a decade, like almost an entire decade. Another thing that's interesting, he gets hired as the O-line coach at Memphis. And I guess it was like 2015, 2016. He's the O-line coach for 1 year. Then all of a sudden, now he's the run game coordinator and the O-line coach for a couple years. And then now he's the associate head coach. And then, of course, whenever Mike Norvell leaves, he gets the head job. That to me is interesting. And, it could be as simple as, hey, they didn't have anybody else. He was kind of the only other guy. But for a guy to get hired as the O-line coach, and then 3 years later, he is thought of so highly in that organization that he is now the obvious head coach, and he'd become the associate head coach officially before that. I think that tells you a little something about Ryan Silverfield and the impression that he's made on some of the people he worked with. And Curtis, you make the point of, he took over a program that was already kind of rolling. Well, he was also a part of getting that program rolling and a part of what made it good under Mike Norvell. And so it's like, I'm not doing the thing where I'm like, well, if you look at it, maybe Mike Norvell was only having success at Memphis because of Ryan Silverfield. I'm not even making that case, but I do think that Silverfield, like, we can only take him for what he has on his resume. And there's nothing on his resume that I look at and I'm like, don't love that. I'm not really thrilled about that. I think there's something there. I think the one thing that's undeniable about Memphis is they have a very clear culture in place, and that culture serves them very well. They win a lot of games. Now they're not like dominating the AAC every year and winning, the conference all the time. They're not making the playoff, but it's like they have a very clear winning culture that wins a lot of games. It's consistent. There's an expectation. There's a standard. That's awesome. And ultimately, when you're hiring a guy to take over your program, you're counting on them to build a culture and make that work. What will that look like from Memphis to Arkansas? I don't know, but it is nice that there is at least a guy who is a part and is running, and he's a young guy running a very legitimate culture that, to your point, Curtis, has been rolling for a while. And also, after Norvell left, they had a couple 6-6, 7-5 years, and then have now kind of reached back up to that 10-11 win range. And so I think he's doing something right. He's clearly doing a very good job. Would he be able to do that same good job at Arkansas? I don't know, but I'm with you, Curtis, that there's really just nothing about Ryan Silverfield that gives me like red flags. I mean, will he be a great coach at Arkansas? I don't know. Will he be a great coach wherever he ends up? I don't know. But it's like there's nothing in his resume that I look at and I'm like, I don't love that.
Yeah, that's my thing is like because we brought it up, Andrew, as far as him taking over the program, kind of having a little dip, and then coming back with it like the way that they have. That to me nixes any sort of argument people have. Well, he just took over a great program and just kept it going. It's like, well, no, because they had a dip and he got it back going in the right direction. So I really like that. And people are probably going to get mad. I'm not saying it's a direct comparison, but you mentioned all the places he's been is like kind of gives me like an Eric Musselman vibe, where it's like he's kind of dabbled in everything. He's dabbled in high school. He's dabbled in college. He's dabbled in the NFL. He was a quarterback coach. Like it was crazy because you think about like he was the Memorial Day high school head coach where he went 1-9. Maybe that's the one thing you can hold against him. Yeah,
that's the red flag. There you go.
A red flag. If you can't win more than 4 games at Memorial High, what are we doing here? But in 2004, he's the head coach, and then the next year in 2005, he's the Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback coach. It's like, what? It's like just boom, there it is. And then after that, he's there for 1 year, but then he goes to UCF as a grad assistant. Then he goes to the Minnesota Vikings another year for a offensive quality control coach. And then he's the defensive line staff assistant. Right? Wait a minute. So quarterback coach, offensive quality assistant, and the D line of staff is like, what? You went to the other side of the ball, and then you went back to the offensive line, and you went to the assistant offensive line. Like where you're all over the place. Now, again, is that bad? Is it good? Whatever. But my biggest green flag to me for Ryan Silverfield is, other than the record because he wins, is just the fact that he's dabbled in everything, man. He's been on offense, defense. He's been on the line. He's been in high school. He's been in coaching different position groups and in different roles. Some of it being an actual full-time assistant. Some of it being a quality control or a GA. He's been everywhere. And usually to me, the best type of if you call it an owner or a manager or whatever, is those who had been in those other positions because they know how they work, they know what makes them click and how they can be successful. So to me, that's maybe the thing that, besides the record, that I really like about Ryan Silverfield is it seems that he has a good grasp on every level and in every way.
One of the things I loved about Eric Musselman was how much he would take from random things. He would, sit down with the Walmart front office guy and he would learn something from that guy. And then he would, go watch the Dallas Cowboys practice, and he would learn something from that. And, maybe it doesn't all directly tie into how you run your program and how you do things on your basketball program. But I do think there's something to like just learning from as many people as you can. And so, again, that's what I want to know about Ryan Silverfield is like, who were the most influential ones of all those many stops, whether it was the Vikings, the Jaguars, wherever, maybe it was just Mike Norvell at Memphis. Like, who was the guy that really influenced you the most, and what were some of those lessons? And I think he's an interesting guy. Like, I just think there's something there. Does he have this crazy personality that's going to fire us up? Maybe not. But I kind of want to get in a room with the guy and talk to him for a little bit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Well, and according to, I haven't posted just yet because it's just updated, but for the coaches voting, Ryan Silverfield is third behind Rhett Lashley at 2 and James Franklin at 1. That was a couple hours ago. Now Silverfield has surpassed Rhett Lashley as the number 2 guy, according to our Razorback fan vote. So
really,
for what it's worth, yeah.
One thing I do want to remember about the Arkansas-Memphis game, because I've seen some people use that as citing as like why they would hire Ryan Silverfield, and then I've also some people be like, well, Arkansas sucks, so it's like you only beat Arkansas by 1. That quarterback, Brandon Lewis for Memphis, who is a really good athlete, cannot throw a forward pass 10 yards. And had he been able to do that, I think they would have beat Arkansas by like 3 touchdowns. Like there was in the first half, he missed like 5 wide open throws that we kind of forget about. I think there's a case to be made that Memphis actually beat Arkansas way more soundly than the 1-point victory or whatever it ended up being.
Oh, were you gonna say something, Curtis? I didn't know if you were.
Well, no, I agree with that. Actually, I think that's a good take. I'm my office door just swung open and there's nobody here.
Spooky season,
like,
man.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. And sometimes, like if you have a good seal or whatever, and like your air turns on or something, it'll shut a door. But like I've got the system turned off, so it wasn't that. Like I don't know. And my dog's right here beside me. I just don't know what happened. So it's kind of got me thrown. But anyway,
maybe Michelle got taken in the rapture. She was trying to tell you before it happened.
Yeah, and I don't hear her or my kid, which one of them is usually yapping. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway.
Well, if you need to leave and check on some things,
go make sure everybody's alive.
Yes, please do. If that's the case, like we can, you just circle back with us. Everything's good to go. But yeah,
I'm giving her 30 seconds to respond in the chat, or I'm out of here.
All right. Well, there.
I heard her. Okay, she just laughed. I heard her.
Okay. All right. We're good. So no spooky season over there at Curtis's place, but let's find out. Maybe Wesley's walking already. Maybe he's already going around and knocking doors.
Here we go.
So classic. Which, by the way, real quick, is I know we'll have our heavy hitters. To give you an update on the full voting percentages that we have over 2,000 people voting, which I appreciate everybody that does, because some people that are weird where you're voting nonstop, like for one candidate. That's weird. So I try to take that in consideration. But right now, where it stands, and also too, folks, the percentages, it's you can vote as many coaches as you want. It's about the amount. So if you had 2,000 people vote, this percentage of people is who voted for this coach. So just to clarify that. So James Franklin leads the way at 49.5%. So essentially 1,000 people voted for James Franklin as they'd be cool with him being the next head coach. He's leading the way. After that is Ryan Silverfield. And then very close on his heels is Rhett Lashley at 3. After that is Alex Golish. And then after that is John Sumrall. And so you have him. And then after that, still Bobby Petrino. So, yes.
Hey, by the way, so I just want to make this clear. I actually don't have a huge preference between all these guys. I would lean Golish over Silverfield, despite the fact that Silverfield literally beat Golish in a game on Saturday. I think both guys are pretty similar ranges of candidates. I would lean Golish, but for everyone doing the aura thing, is Golish just dripping with swag and aura?
I was gonna say that a few minutes ago, and I took the high road.
I like the guy. He's actually one of my top guys. Was like, if we're doing hey, we can't hire Ryan Silverfield because of his lack of aura. Well, then how the hell are you going to justify hiring Alex Golish, who has similarly no aura and just lost to Ryan Silverfield?
Right. Yeah. And like Finch says, Golish wins. He does sort of, but Silverfield wins more and wins against him. He's done it more than once. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, everybody.
But I'm with you. I would take Golish over Silverfield also. But I understand that it's just it goes back to yesterday of trusting like projection and trajectory over actual resume and production, I think is where it's at.
For sure. And that's kind of, and also it's like, I really don't think one game should be determining anything. Obviously, when you have two candidates and the game was separated by 3 points, like it was a very close game too. So it's like, I really don't think we should do that. And if you were going to do that, you would do the one game Silverfield lost to Alex Mortenson's kid. So,
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex Mortensen is the kid. Chris Mortensen is the father.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, my thing is about those two guys. It's like, honestly, I'd be fine with either one. That's kind of my thing. It's like you told me that Alex Golish got hired over Ryan Silverfield. Great. If you said that Silverfield got hired over Golish. Great. But I'm not going to be like, what? Golish is far and away the better coach. It's like it's a very close thing. But I'd be great with either one of them. Like it just would stop. Andrew, I knew that someone was going to say something stupid like that. If 6s and 7s or whatever that thing needs to die a horrible death. Like, just. Hey, do you guys remember when I was at that Prairie Grove school or whatever and spoke to those kids? And the only reason they knew about that big recruit that was coming to visit in basketball, they knew his name. They didn't know any other Razorbacks name, but they knew that kid because of the 6'7" thing. I'm like, what are we doing here?
But John, I do agree though. Like, I don't know how you could view these coaches in terribly different like they're all about the same. There's about 6 or 7 of these coaches that are around the same range.
I hate you so much. Listen, we got to move on from this before I get raging over here because we got to get to our heavy hitters. And we got a few of those that we got to dive into. And of course, it's presented by our friends over at HD Roofing and Construction. I don't know if you heard it, especially if you're in the Northwest Arkansas area. Rains are coming down. Well, you might be in your house and listening to Inside Arkansas Live, and suddenly you hear this dripping noise hit your floors. And you're like, what's going on? Oh, no, there is a leak in the roof because I did not call HD Roofing and Construction to have them give us a free estimate and a free way of getting in the inspection. Like you just didn't do it. Why? I don't know. But you're now going to be in a bad shape. But that's okay because even if you do have the leaky roof, HD Roofing Construction is still going to help you out. So if you're somebody though that wants to make sure, you want to be prepared, have HD Roofing do it. You can call them today if you're in the Central Arkansas area at 501-428-0429. But they also have the office in Northwest Arkansas that just opened up. 479-957-1928. That's 479-957-1928. You can also check it out at hdarkansas.com, but they're going to have the top quality professionalism, materials, and expert installation for all of your roofing needs. So don't wait any longer. Get it done with HD Roofing and Construction, our official sponsor for our heavy hitter segment here on Inside Arkansas Live. Okay, so guys, for my heavy hitter, I am going to open this video and hope that, yeah, here we go. So, because I forgot to load it. Either way, Lane Kiffin's my guy again. This guy, man.
That's a good one.
This guy. I know he's probably, it's an easy thing to say that he's the heavy hitter, but this is just perfect with what he does and you talk about aura. He was talking about, someone asked him about Venables, and Venables, after they beat, of course, Oklahoma, Venables was saying, I felt like we were the better team. Well, Lane Kiffin had some responses.
Following the game, Coach Brent Venables said he felt like he had the better team. Just your overall thoughts on that.
That's an interesting take. That's a hot take. You have a better team. I wouldn't have thought that people watching would say that. I felt that we won at their place in weather that as a defensive head coach you would normally, wish for, and won by 8 points. And I think we left a lot out there. I think we should have won by a couple scores. So I don't know how he evaluated that game, that they were the better team. I mean, we had way more yards, 21 first downs to 14, and we played 87 plays of offense, and they had 1 sack and didn't force any turnovers. That's a interesting take, but whatever he needs to say.
And also following up to road trips
Maybe
to Georgia.
they had the better team last year too when we beat them. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Following up on the road against Georgia.
Maybe we had the better team in Oklahoma when we beat them 55-19 in the national championship. Maybe you had the better team at Clemson when we beat them 45-40 in the national championship at Alabama. Next question, my bad. You got me on that.
Dude,
Talking about
just outstanding. I don't have any problems with Brent Venables or anything like that. It's just stop taking, because to me, I would feel, I've never been a head coach before, and Curtis, I know you have, but to me, one of the worst insults or at least something I would take personally is if the opposing coach of a team that I just beat says, no, but we were the better team. I'd be like, that's personal to me.
That's Hugh Freeze business right there.
Yeah. And just for him to say that and then to come out and just the way he responded was, and of course him interrupting the poor guy trying to ask a question, that was just outstanding, man.
That was incredible, man. That was so good. I saw it from SEC Mike at first, and I listened to it and I retweeted it, and then I was like, hold up. There ain't this got to be AI. I was checking into it. I did a search. I was like, is this real? Did he really say all this? Yeah, he did. He doesn't care, man. That was freaking awesome. We need more of this.
Yeah.
Frankly,
Speaking of aura, that's aura.
And by the way, you could tell because him and Venables, of course, have coached against one another a lot over the years as OCs, DCs, head coaches. And you can tell Lane takes that personally. I love that he didn't just willingly come to the press conference and be like, oh, hey, by the way, Brent Venables sucks. He was asked about it. And so I think for Brent Venables, you're well within your rights to tell your team whatever you want to tell them. And you can feel however you want to feel about the game, about your team. And you know how coaches do every time they lose a game. Well, I still think we have a good football team. And so it's that's kind of natural. But if you're going to say something like that, you need to be prepared for someone to respond with facts. And by the way, having watched the game, Ole Miss is substantially better than Oklahoma. I agree with Kiffin's assessment that Ole Miss let their foot off the gas for basically the entire third quarter and let that game become a real thing. Lane, I think if they play that game 10 times, Ole Miss wins 9.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It was just awesome, and I love it. Lane Kiffin, once again, my heavy hitter, and I wish he was my head coach, but he'll just have to settle for my heavy hitter today. Fair
enough. Yeah, I've got a couple. One, want to give a shout out to Finch. They were at the game yesterday, and Michelle shared with me a picture of the kiddo with the Razorback sign. Showed a little love to Inside Arkansas on it. I thought that was really cool. So. Shout out to you for that, man. That's big time stuff. And wish we could have gone down there, man. It just logistically with everything else going on, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense for us. I don't know where the hell we would have done the post-game show either. So that was another aspect of it there, but hope you guys had a really good time. Looks like the atmosphere was pretty awesome there. So very good stuff. And my other one, and it corresponds with a super chat that I'll go ahead and bring up here from Game on Lock 96. He said, Andy Katz put out a top 10 freshman list today, had Mikal Brown and Braylon Mullins over both Acuff and Malik. Malik wasn't even in the top 10. Dude is embarrassing himself at this point. If you listen to the Pod at the Palace, like just randomly, you would probably heard me start screaming about some of these lists. You want to talk about rage bait? That's exactly what some of this stuff is, man. But I just don't understand. Malik Thomas, by the way, is my heavy hitter. I just don't understand how you can call yourself a college basketball analyst or, hide under that disguise or whatever and have any knowledge whatsoever of Friday night and last night and not have Malik Thomas on a list like this. I just don't know how that's a thing. Somebody tweeted at me and said that bro just literally copied and pasted the top 10 from the rankings. I actually think that might be true. That might be exactly what he did there. Put some effort into it, my guy. Like you cannot see what Malik Thomas did last night and not at least have him on the list. That's nasty work. It's crazy. Hey, no disrespect to some of the guys at the top here, like DeBanza, Peterson, Boozer. They've all looked awesome. Mikal Brown Jr. went 2 of 15 in his first exhibition game down there. Nate Ament, what was he, 5 of 19? Like, they're going to be great players and everything. I understand that, but you got to show some love to the guy who's out there balling out. He put on an absolute show. Both ends of the floor. We all know that he can score, that he can hit threes. He was running point guard. He was diming guys. He was dunking on people. He was making plays on the defensive end. He was tied for the team lead in rebounding. Like he literally did everything to catalyze that victory. And then you see a list like this and yeah, it pisses me off. Do your homework. If you're going to put these lists out and put your name on it, Malik Thomas deserves some love. He's going to get it from inside Arkansas today. So he is my heavy hitter.
Yeah. I feel like even if you don't even think Malik Thomas is like really that good or whatever, you kind of have to put him in the top 10 of that list just based off of what he's done. And one, he was also a 5-star coming in. It's not like he came out of nowhere. He was already close to that fringe anyway. And in the fact that he's done it, I think you almost have to put him on the list just to make it clear that you have been paying attention. Like imagine if I did a top 3 SEC quarterbacks list and I didn't have like Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback. Like, I don't even think he's that good, but it's like, I would put him on the list just because I'm like, he's the quarterback of the number 1 team in the SEC. Like he's been doing a good job. The stats are there. I kind of have to put him on this list. I feel like Malik Thomas, I know it's only 2 exhibition games. You just kind of have to put him on there just to show people that you actually have been paying attention to what's been going on in college basketball. My heavy hitter is basically that entire Dodgers game last night. I got to be honest, I didn't watch all of it. I watched maybe 2 innings of it, but it was just cool to keep up with. It was going on while we were doing the post game, went on for several hours after. Of course, Shohei Ohtani. What more can you say about the dude? What a legend he is. Has 2 home runs, 2 doubles, gets intentionally walked 3 times. Freddie Freeman hits the walk-off home run. That was awesome. Although Freddie Freeman is, as we know, a Dorkosaurus Rex. Do y'all know who's actually really my heavy hitter though? Is Brad Paisley. Are y'all aware that Brad Paisley has sung the national anthem for 4 World Series games this decade? World Series Game 2 in 2017 goes 11 innings. World Series Game 3 in 2018 goes 18 innings. World Series Game 1 in 2024 goes 10 innings. And then he sang the anthem last night, World Series Game 3 in 2025, 18 innings. He has done the national anthem for 2 18-inning World Series games, the only 2 in the history of the World Series of 200 years.
It's incredible.
That's crazy. That's great. So do you happen to have the record of like who won those games? Because I was going to say, if the home team won it every time, what's that?
The Dodgers were involved in most of them, maybe all of them, because in 2017 it was the Astros who won an extra innings game there. It was the Red Sox and Dodgers in Dodger Stadium in 2018, and then the Dodgers were in the World Series last year, right?
Yeah.
And these are all 4 Dodgers games.
Yeah, because I was just gonna say if the home team won all of those games, and I'd be like, man, get Brad Paisley if it goes to that many innings. Have at it. But no, see that I didn't realize that stat. But to your point of the game, first off, it's crazy when you think about they played 2 games in one night. Like it's 18 innings. Like they played 2 games, but I love football. Football is my favorite sport. Basketball is close second. I love baseball too. But man, there's just nothing more hype than playoff like baseball when it comes to just one single pitch swing. Like it just changes everything. And it's just so being on the edge of your seat and, you know, the energy, which I got so mad when Shohei Ohtani got up and they intentionally walked him. I'm like, you jerks. It's like, I get it, but still would have been nice to see Shohei. Like Freddie Freeman's cool and all that, but how cool would it have been if Shohei is the one that walked it off? I mean, come on, that would have been next level. So
yeah, Freddie Freeman did that, and then he cried around the bases because he's not in Atlanta anymore. So
it's true. Yes. Yeah, but he's they do like Freddie Freeman's been awesome in the World Series. What was it? Was it last year where he just hit like 3 home runs in 3 games, like to open up each inning or something? I don't know, but it's so much fun, and it's just also you have two. Like the Dodgers, who a lot of people hate because of, you know, obvious reasons, and the, you know, Blue Jays, the Canada team and stuff. So it is a lot of fun. But it was a great baseball game last night.
I need to acknowledge, because I see the chat like is freaking out over the Ty Simpson thing. That was not the point at all. So like y'all are missing the point completely. All I was saying is Ty Simpson is putting up numbers at Alabama this year that are undeniable. So even if you look at Ty Simpson and you don't think he's great, he has to be on your list of, if you're doing a top 3 quarterbacks, top 5 quarterbacks, or whatever. He is on the best team in the SEC, putting up insane numbers. He is by default a guy that has to be on the list, regardless of what you think about him. And I was saying the same for Malik Thomas, that like he is putting up numbers, obviously in 2 exhibition games. And given that he's on a Calipari team, like you kind of just have to put him on the list just to make it clear you've been paying attention. That was not my way of saying Ty Simpson sucks or that Ty Simpson is good, actually. I didn't say either one of those things.
No, Danger hates Ty Simpson, so that's fine.
I just saw like 9 chats where everybody's like, "Oh, Ty Simpson, Ty Simpson." Like, dude, relax.
Yeah. All right, few chats before we roll out of here for today, folks. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the super chats. Appreciate everything coming in. Let's see. Filthy Tom, one of our new members here, says basketball vets. The season fatigue play less of a role in b-ball. That was my only concern with the schedule. Great experience, but don't want to blow our wad early. Okay, great.
Season fatigue is real, man. I think we saw it at times last year with like DJ, for example, and the minutes that he was playing, and the wear and tear that's involved with that. I think sometimes you see it more like in second halves of games. You know, if you played a couple in a week, there are different times, and it's the thing that sucked for Arkansas last year with that short roster. And then you had a couple of injuries. It's like, okay, you can't even in a blowout get your guys out of there and let them chill. You know, like you couldn't do that. They were, you know, playing Pacific or whatever, and you couldn't take a Dude Thero out of the game because you didn't have anybody else to go to. And so that was rough on them. They're not going to face that problem this year. Heck, in this exhibition I think 2 guys played 32 minutes or something, but like it wasn't like it was crazy the way that it was working out there. I think they've got 8 guys who are all going to play, you know, strong minutes. Sealy you can turn to, and you just, you know, if you're playing Southern Monday night and you're up by 35 or whatever with, you know, 6 minutes left, you can put Elmer in there. It'll be fine. You can put Jaden in there and you're going to be just fine. You can get some of those guys out of there. And it seems like it's not that big of a deal, but the difference in 34 minutes versus 27. And if you're able to do that 6, 8, you know, times throughout the course of a year, it's going to pay off for you in the long run. It does. The season is long, man. It's a grind. You're traveling all over the place. You're playing multiple games a week. And when it gets real, you know, in SEC play, everybody tightens up their rotation. You're going to be playing a lot. So the fresher you can be beforehand, the better. I think they're better equipped to handle that this year more than last.
I think another thing that helps is that a lot of these big non-conference games are kind of spaced out a little bit. You know, I mean, like you play Michigan State and then it's like 3 weeks before you go play Duke. And then I think it's like a week later, maybe 6 days later is when there's another big game. They're all separated by almost a week. Once you get into that stretch, you play some big ones. It's not like you're playing Wednesday night, you play Duke, and then Saturday you play Houston. And then Tuesday, you know, it's like they do kind of space it out a little bit. And by that point, when we get to December, like you said, you'll be ramping up for SEC play where you actually will be playing 2 good teams every week. And so it's kind of a perfect natural progression toward that.
Also, Cats by 21 says, how many families do y'all see Cal able to help on this year's team? Enough families to win a national championship.
I got to be honest. So I think this is actually a great question. Because, I mean, we assume like Malik Thomas and Darius Cup, those look like 2 guys who will probably be your one-and-done type of guys. I think Carter is a pretty solid bet to be a draft prospect or maybe a, you know, late first, early second round type of guy.
If he takes more than 5 shots per game this season, I would agree.
Yeah. Who else? I mean, those are the 3. Like I'd say the 3 most likely. Who would be the 4th? Like, is Trevin the 4th best prospect on the team?
Yeah, I mean, Trevin is out of eligibility, and if he has the type of year that people think he will, or even takes a step forward, he'll probably get drafted. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's going to be a lottery, nothing crazy like that. But why wouldn't a team take him in the second round? Especially with so many kids who were coming back to college to make the NIL money or whatever. Kind of like last year, where everybody's like, "Oh, Jameer Watkins, yeah, he's going to be an end of the second round guy. He's definitely coming back to school." And then like 20 dudes decide they're going to go back to school, and all of a sudden you're like an early second round pick right there. So I could see something like that happening with Trevin. I don't know. Like, hell, what happens to Billy Richmond if he's even just competent as a 3-point shooter? Like he makes 23s on the year and whatever, because he's kind of got all the other intangibles there, maybe. But yeah, I think there's 3 guys that make a whole hell of a lot of sense. And then after that, you're kind of we'll see.
I feel like Billy Richmond is like, I would almost bet my life that he enters the draft and then comes back to school.
That's
like
that
just
sounds about
preseason.
right.
He's like the perfect kind of guy for that. We'll set the over under at 3.5. 3.5 families fed this year.
There you go. Cats by 21 also says, I'm not happy to admit that this year's Arkansas team feels and looks like a Kentucky team of old. Malik Thomas has a lot of Malik Monk in him, unfortunately.
I like the unfortunately there at the end. Yeah, I mean, they're really good. They're very talented. It's put together differentely than some of those vintage Kentucky teams, because obviously he's got more guys returning than he did over there. But given the makeup and the athleticism, the way that they play, and the multiple options, and you got a couple of freshmen in the backcourt that are kind of stealing the show, it does have those characteristics, man.
Yeah.
What do you think about that Malik Thomas, Malik Monk?
It's not a horrible comp at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I mean, it's not the exact type of player, but definitely high level shooters who ain't afraid to let it fly.
Yeah. No, I think it's fair. You just want to see more of them. Which, by the way, speaking of Kentucky, I was just curious. You guys know what the cheapest ticket is to Arkansas Kentucky basketball this year? Right now,
$200.
$600.
As of right now, you could get 2 tickets, $484.
Goodness gracious, dude.
Yeah. If you wanted to sit, which is so funny because some of these prices are weird. Like some people are selling them for like $600 up top, but then there's one that's like really close that's $500. So it's like, okay, what's going on here? But either way, if you wanted to sit somewhat close to the court, $4,000. So just to give everybody a heads up in case you're looking to go to the game. And here's the thing is that those are just going to keep on going. Those prices are just going to keep on going because both these teams are going to be good. And both teams are undefeated. That's stupid, but it'd be funny to happen that way.
How many more sponsors do we need to jump on board for the 3 of us and Cameron to be able to sit in those recliners for the Kentucky game?
Dude.
A lot.
Yeah, we would have to pay up for the stadium naming rights to even get parts of that. Like that's and what cracks me up, I don't know who sits in those seats, whatever, but it's just, I look at those people like, you just have too much money. You just have too much money. And shout out to, I'm not making fun, shout out to the old man and his very young, attractive wife that sit down there. I don't know who y'all are. I've never seen y'all before in my life, but it just makes me always just think, I'm like, that must be a Cal thing. Like I fly them in from New York City and just come down here for games. I don't know. But either way, Bud Walton's different now, guys. It's just different. It's got a different setup. And if you didn't go to the game in the exhibition game, you'll see next game, which is that Monday? Next Monday? Southern? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'll get to see what that looks like. And I'm sure people will be all right with it. All right. Final chat before we roll out of here. OKC Hog. Who can jump higher, Brazil or Billy?
Billy's got a higher vert. Because if we're doing it based on, you stand and you do your thing there. I bet Billy jumps a higher amount, but I bet Brazil can still reach a higher mountaintop, if that makes sense.
Probably so. Although, if Billy was at the top of the square, how high can Trevin get? Like, can Trevin touch the top of the backboard?
I think so.
Maybe. Like, I wouldn't put it past him. Like, Trevin can get that high. I need to see this in action. I mean, I got to go back and look at something because, man, there's some of these dunks that Trevin does. You're like, holy cow. But I think you're right, Andrew, in the way that you broke it down there. But
yeah,
good grief.
I'd probably say just a slight to Billy because it's like Trevin is who's, let's be honest, both of them are freaks. But like Trevin, he's got the longest arms, the wingspans there. He's 6'11". Like, it maybe looks a lot like higher and all that. Like, I think he can get higher, but Billy doing that right there on that screen, like, because how tall is Billy? 6'7"?
5'6".
6'5".
So that's both are really gifted athletes, though. We can agree there.
Not quite 6'7".
Yeah. That's where I'm like, his vert would have to be, and I don't know about the wingspan either. Like, if they're both just standing up there, I bet Trevin would be starting 6 or 7 inches higher. You know what I mean? And so it's like for Billy to top that. But dude, Billy's a freak, man.
Mm-hmm.
I hate you both. All right. So guys, any final thoughts though before we roll out of here for the day?
You know why skeletons are so calm? It's because nothing gets under their skin.
I like that.
It's my final thought.
I like that.
It's good.
Dang, dude, I've been eating Laffy Taffies lately, and they got some jokes on them, and so I'll always be reading the jokes. I'll come back tomorrow. I'll have my Laffy Taffy jokes tomorrow. I forgot. I'm blanking on all of them, but I don't have any final thoughts other than Woo Pig and shout out to Robert Moore, who will be joining me on the Bombastic Podcast here very soon.
Big Bob. All right. It'll be awesome. The only joke that I have that even comes close that I just thought off the top of my head that I heard a long time ago is, how do you wake up Lady Gaga? Poker face.
Ah, there you go. I like that.
Sorry. I have better ones, but I can't say them on the air. They're, we'll get.
Hey, wait a minute. In honor of Halloween, why did the Scarecrow get an award? It's outstanding in his field.
Nice. Nice.
I think it's maybe the way we need to start ending shows from here on out, and just find the dad jokes and just name all of them, and vote on who has the best one. But those are good. Those are good. Well, sorry, real quick. J.M. Scott super chat in the witching hour said, you had some good takes today, Andrew. Here's $2 from us poor chatters. Go buy yourself something nice.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. This will go to a good cause, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. My final thought is just subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas on YouTube as well as across the board, because we're going to be on top of it all when it comes to Razorback basketball, with the season getting fully underway with Pot at the Palace. Of course, Inside Arkansas football, we're still going to be doing that. Still going to be having some pregame show, postgame shows. Going to talk about all the coaching searches and the latest things going on there with recruiting, with Inside Arkansas recruiting with Dudley Dawson. Still going to be going strong. So yeah, subscribe to us here on our YouTube page. Follow our podcast wherever podcasts are found. And also check out InsideArkansas.com as well as Inside Arkansas on social media. And that'll do it for us today. For Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson and intern Cameron, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you then.